Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Friday, February 28th, 2025. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Happy Friday, everyone. Here's a look at the ES in the daily time frame here. A little bit of a quick pop to the upside on the release of the PCE price index month over month here. Inflation metric coming in 0.3% versus a 0.3% forecast, so in line with expectations. The year-over-year number also came in line with expectations. Chicago PMI coming up here after the RTH open, but for right now, a little bit of a thrust reversal developing early in the day. A little bit of a thrust reversal, strong overnight low, and then a strong overnight lower low to get this thing pushing higher. And now the bounce here just now on inflation data happening right off the previous session's close price, 58.81, and we're seeing a series of higher lows here in the intraday time frame. Can this market find a way to bounce back today on a Friday of all days, as Fridays have been very bearish during the Trump presidency so far? That's a Friday, that's a Friday, that's a Friday. Of course, that's last Friday right there. And what are we going to do this Friday? The pattern so far, especially during the selling pressure, has been morning strength followed by selling pressure and afternoon weakness. So how is this market going to respond to selling pressure here after the RTH open? It could lead to another round of weakness up ahead. If this thing can continue to stay above the previous session's low and close, then maybe there's a shot to bounce back toward, say, the previous session's midpoint in the best case bull scenario. But again, predominant bear trend, very high volatility movement. This market has not been able to string together days to the upside. Looking at the NQ, similar price action for the NQ here, getting off the lows here. When you look at the intraday chart, there's at least 4 major rejections at around these lows. 20,515 is the low. You also have 20,540 as a rejection point, 20,560 a couple of times, including right now. So there's definitely some defense happening down here at these levels. Previous session with a massive flush and stop run day down. And taking out all of these support levels here and hitting our 20,800 to 20,700 zone that we talked about up here. If we were going to fade back down, we would rotate back toward the middle and across the range here. It did it very, very quickly. Now, can this market find some lows and bounce this thing back? That's one thing this market has been lacking here lately, are very strong lows. Instead, heavy selling pressure, especially selling pressure into morning strength. So if this can't find a strong low here soon, we could be rotating downward another bit here, and that could take us down toward 20,000 and the previous quarter's low price. And that's a target we had earlier in the quarter. At the beginning of the year, that was a target we had. Best case scenario would be to take the early pullback early and then from there build higher, and instead we did the opposite. We kind of went up, rejected off the high, and are dropping down toward the low. So very, very bearish here. How much lower does this thing need? Right now, digestive day, but with a big time downward bias still in effect. Looking at crude oil, this one's down 1.1% right now, 69.53. A bounce back up yesterday here. That's VPOC right there. Continues to trade around that level, although it was taken offered, and we do have a downward bias. That channel here is now kind of sloped into, or morphed into a downward sloping channel here. Again, the thought here is more downside. 66 to 67 could be the downside targets ahead. Right now, very clear intraday downtrend. That could change with a pushback above the 69.65 zone, 69.70. That could open up a little bit of strength here, but as of right now, still trending down overall. We may see another little pullback a little higher here, but ultimately we're still working our way downward toward that lower support zone. Looking at gold futures, this one's down 1% here. A little bit of a pullback the last several days, the biggest string of pullback days we've seen. Heading into today and following these two big pullback days here, the thought today was perhaps today will be a bounce back day. And watching to see if we can find a strong low today. Instead, there's a bit of a box that is developed below the 2880 level. So there's a box, perfect little box here, developing below 2880. If this market can pop back above 2880, we could see ourselves retrading back into the previous session's range and getting another signature bounce back within this big time bull trend here. Now failure to respond back above 2880 and you start to open up the potential for a broader pullback here. 2880 key level in the charts. Watching the YM now. Now the YM with a bit of a reversal off the lows. This one has shown more strength to the upside in overnight and pre-market trading. More elongated trending movement. And then last night, 7:30 p.m. we saw a big strong spike to the downside and a strong reversal, and that low has continued to hold. There was a retrade of that hold around 10 p.m. last night, and a higher low developed around that area, and we've been higher ever since. So if you're looking at the Dow compared to the ES and the NQ here, this one looks the most bullish at the moment. It has had the most strength. Can it get through the previous session's midpoint and start working its way higher back within this range? Because right now that range has developed a very large expanding quality, lower level like that, upper line like this, and we've just rejected that lower level yet again. So we're working our way higher within the range right now. Of course, these markets have been known to be faced with selling pressure here into any kind of early weak morning pullback like this. So still not out of the weeds for the bulls here, but if they can start pushing through the previous session's midpoint here, which is the 43,613 level. So 613, you push through that, you really start to open up more strength within the range up above. All right, let's take a look here at Bitcoin. Bitcoin down 2.3%. and hit prices below 80K this morning. Around 3 in the morning, this thing dropped into 78.675. That's right there, 78.675, and that's a massive low, and that is the appropriate flush event that we were talking about out of this range right here. That compression, very odd compression, especially following that G-squat day, and that did not suggest strength. Instead, the idea was a flush was likely to come out, and a flush could take us easily back down the way here. We've seen this thing really aggressively move lower. Today, putting in a low at the moment, and it is attacking the current session's midpoint. Is this going to be a strong enough low in this area to bounce this thing back up now? Again, we're getting closer and closer to the must hold point of 75K. This thing must hold 75, maybe 74, because you start to break much through that level and you're opening up 50,000 below. So this is a must hold point here for Bitcoin. Maybe another day or two down. It could be the March low here leads to an outside month up. That would be tremendous. So this is a must hold zone here for Bitcoin. Likewise here, Ethereum 4.28% lower, and this thing dropped below 2100. The key range right here that we marked out before showed a target down here at 2077. Right there, 2077. Today's low, 2084. So just missed out on the 77 proper there, but that was a target we mentioned could be a lower low to this target here. To that pivot low here, maybe we drop and hit a lower low into that key range, and now maybe we can start a recovery effort. So this is a big time zone for ETH. It has been the best buying opportunity over the last 14 months. So there's 2200 here, and over the last, I guess, 15 months, you got the first 2 months of this year, you had the last month of that prior year, and then all of last year. This is 15 months of responding to 2100, that zone, and right now we just put in a low just below those levels. So this has been the best area to buy, and if you turn this thing around back to the top end of the range, it's basically a double. 21 to 4200 is a double. If this thing can make it back up, it's already done that, traded that zone 3 times now in the past year alone. Can it do it again here over the next several months? That's going to be something to keep an eye on in ETH. Alright, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out here heading into the rest of the session. Happy Friday. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.